Also that, we're kind of covered in everything, okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without an attorney present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to an attorney. Do you understand the rights that I have just read to you?
Yes.
Having these rights in mind, do you wish to speak?
If I say no, then I'll do it,
I mean, I can't. I have to ask you some questions. I'm just confused with.
Yeah, I want to share my side. Yeah, I think there's a lot of lies going around. And I can clear
Okay.
stuff up. Yeah.
And if you don't want to answer a specific question, like I said, you can just say, "Hey, I don't want to answer that question." But that sound like a good deal?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So what's going on? Because it sounds like police have been in contact with you, or kind of your, I'm gonna say posse, but for the past 4 days, right?
Yeah, I guess I can just say everything if you want.
Whatever you want to share me, and whatever you think is.
I don't know how much you know already, but basically, I'm a journalist is kind of a weird word. I'm a YouTuber.
Okay.
And at first I started just making sci-fi videos, and then over time it's kind of gotten more into journalism, and I've kind of gained a niche of going and, like, people email me stories, and then I go in, basically it's usually corrupt organizations. I go in, and then I think the thing that separates me from other people is I don't just report on it, I actually take it to the next step, like shut them down. So,
Good to go.
I guess the last one I did was, it's called Bikini Manor. It's they advertise as the world's scariest haunted house. And so I went in, and it turns out the haunted house doesn't exist. It's just like a trap to get people to show up. It's like they have like a torture fetish, I guess. It's like a cult of people. Actually, it's like a cult.
Interesting.
And they torture people. And I ended up, so it's like a normal journalist would just report about it, but I actually went and I saw that he didn't renew his LLC. So I bought his company from him, and I was able to shut him down. And then I think we found some other loopholes. It was like, he's like fire extinguishers, and he's like making the house. Like, we just used like some crazy loopholes. We got shut down, we got arrested, and that's kind of the brand. So someone hit me up. They said, hey, this company called Bricks and Minifigs stole my entire family's life savings from my dad. He spent his entire life collecting the world's biggest Star Wars Lego collection. It's worth $200,000, and he put it in this store so they could sell it for him. And they just kept the Legos and didn't pay him anything. And we politely went in and asked if we could have it back, and they said the only way you get these Legos back is if you sue us. And if you think about it, 83-year-old man versus $400 million company. Even though the $400 million company's in the wrong, they're gonna win, So he's like, we don't know what else to do. Like, we tried contacting attorneys, and they said, like, once we see what the attorney's fees are, we can't sue them. So we don't know what else to do. Like, we need your help, Ben. So I was like, okay. So we went up, and we basically sued them. And well, first I kind of did like a normal investigative journalism. I didn't show you the video too if you want to saw a music video on YouTube, but we went up, and the video is almost ready to post. And we basically just went up and we documented it. We got their side of the story, we got the old man's side of the video. We just give our side. That's what the first thing we do. And then we're like, well, it seems like they're stolen, because like when we got their side of the story, we're like, hey, we heard that there's a bunch of Legos in your store. Immediately, like, get out, we're calling the police, like, you're harassing them. I'm not harassing, I just asked the question, like, if you still have these Lego sets in your store. They're like, that's harassment and stuff.
And this was up in Oregon, right?
Yes.
From my understanding. Okay.
And so, basically, we're like, okay, like, I know an 83-year-old man is dying of cancer, probably doesn't have the means to sue you.
Good to go.
But I do. So, we served the papers, we did everything legally, we took them to court. They were stupid enough not even to show up to court, so we won default judgment, and we went to basically collect, and they had to pay us all the money, so they shut down their store in Oregon. And so now we are here because the owners live here, and also we met with the chief of police in Oregon, and he said that they're now doing a criminal investigation on them, and within 4 or 5 days ago. He said within 2 weeks they should have enough evidence to warrant for their arrest. Which also sucks for us because if they get arrested, then it's really going to be hard to garnish their wages if we sue them again personally. Because if we sue them personally, obviously you can't show up to court and stuff if they're in jail. So we were like, well, we'll do it anyways. You know, we're suing personally, so I filed all the paperwork. We have y'all sued me against him personally now, the LLC that they dissolved. So we go to his house, and actually, before you can get a court case accepted, you have to show that you had a good faith conversation to resolve it outside of the court case first, or else they won't accept the court case. So the first step is.
Is this all out of Oregon then?
In Utah. Well, so we are doing.
Sorry, I'm just not very familiar with the civil side. I know with all the criminal side, right?
Yeah. So in Oregon, so we have to sue them through the Marion County Court in Oregon because that's where the crime took place. Even though I live in Los Angeles, they live in Utah. That's just what the law says. We have to, from my understanding. And
so that's part of Oregon's civil thing.
Yeah.
You have to have a good faith conversation.
Yes.
Okay, sorry,
So
just trying to understand.
I went to have a good faith. I rang the doorbell, and the guy comes out. He's like, oh, you know, once he sees me, he's like, oh, like really mad. I'm like, hello, like, hey, I'm here to have a good faith conversation with you. Before I'm like, I do have information. I talked to the chief of police. You might be arrested in 2 weeks, or at least going to be a warrant out for your arrest. We already won the lawsuit. We're gonna win again. Like, the store's closed down. We saw, and also we see the Lego sets are still in the store. So we're like, we know you're not gonna sell these Lego sets. Like, the Lego sets are probably gonna go to corporate, you know? So we're like, if you want, you can just open the door and open the Lego sets. Like, it's really not even your Lego sets. You're not gonna keep them. So like, it's like we're on the same team here, is what I said. Like, we should work together to get them these Lego sets back. Or the alternative is we take you to court. And then right after I said that, the cops showed up. They're like, "You're trespassing!" Da, da, da. And they like, the cops were yelling at me and stuff. They're like, "You have to leave." And I'm like, "Okay." They're like, "He's asked you many times to leave. You never left his property." They're like, "We're gonna arrest you for trespassing." I'm like, he's never asked. He's never even said a single word to me. If he told me to leave, I would have left his property. You know, like I'm just here doing what the court said to have a good faith conversation. So then the next step is if the good faith conversation doesn't work, you serve them legal papers. So we went to serve them legal papers. It has to be someone over 18 that's not related to the case. So I just found someone who said they were down, and we drove up, and the cops came like immediately, and we're like, "Hey, we're here to serve them papers," and like we didn't even go on the property or anything because I'm trespassing the property, so obviously I'm not gonna walk on the property. But the previous day I did ask, I said, "Hey, am I allowed on the street?" They said, "Yes, you're allowed on the street, just don't walk on the property." So I thought I was in the legal right to be on the street, to serve them these papers, you know? And so basically what happened is, and then we put a sign, we found a public sign, what's it called, a public strip that's not owned by the HOA, it's just public property. And we put a little sign up that just says like, "I stole Legos," you know, and the thing was, like, and obviously it's for YouTube, so we're gonna be a little goofy with it, you know?
Alright,
so,
move out.
I like to put the sign there because it's in public property, and if anyone has to stay down, obviously we'll take it down. But basically, the joke was we're gonna have. Obviously, he's not gonna want to be served. You know, like if we knock at his door and say, "Hey, we're here to serve the papers," he's not gonna answer. So it was like, oh, he's gonna walk out to take out the sign, and hey, you've been served. We go home. That's it. We see him in court. You know, and then all of a sudden the police come and they're like, "You're stalking him." And I'm like, explain to the police. I'm like, we're not stalking him. We're doing like. I even told the cop, I'm like, I wish we could just send him an email and show up to court this day. That would be so easy for us. But this is how the law works. Like, that's not my fault. Like, I don't make the law. If I made the law, send him an email, or letter in the mail. I don't know.
Best piece ever.
That's how I would do it. But I'm not the one that writes the law. The government is. So I was like, we are just following what the law says, you know. And the police actually were kind of working with us at the beginning. They're like, okay, we'll serve the papers. I was like, oh, that'd be awesome, you know, like we can serve papers. So they walk up, and then I see them talking to him, and the police weren't even trying to serve. Like, all they can do is just say, "You've been served," and drop it on his front door, you know, like if he sees you do that, that counts. But the police are like, "He doesn't want your papers." I'm like, "You can't just serve." They're like, "We tried serving it, but we couldn't do it." And they're like, "He doesn't want your papers, you just have to figure out civilly." I'm like, this is the civil method, you know, like do it civilly, you have to serve. They're like, well then just sue him then. I'm like, that's what we're doing. Like you see how this is a circle, you know? So if I'm like, okay, if I follow your instructions, I will be back here tomorrow to sue him for not being able to sue him, you know? Like I was like, what's the alternative? And they're like, you just have to sue him. I'm like, that's what I'm doing. Like, that we are following the law by doing this. And so I got arrested. I still think it was a false arrest because I was following the law.
No, he should never have said that.
Pause.
What the court tells us.
Said what?
It was a false arrest. He should never have said that. Because then
Why?
you're like, a false arrest. You know how people act.
Technically, a false arrest would be.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Are you sure? Are you sure one of my boys false arrest you?
I think we need to shut you up for good.
The crazy thing is, imagine like fishing, right, in like some little lake, little pond, and someone comes up to you and they're like, "Get the fuck out of this pond, dude, before I kill you." And you're like 10 years old. That shit's crazy. That shit's happened. All right, back to this one.
I think Josh has been. I am very interested in Josh's side of the story because I think he said he might have been heroin in the car or something, and maybe like a 3-hour search on our car. Obviously no heroin. Like the guy I was with. I mean, I'm from California, so I've smoked weed before. But that's the most intense drug I've done. But I haven't smoked weed since a long time.
I don't know why he's saying all this, but...
The guy I was with, he's never smoked and drank a day in his life, and they're like, "We can tell you're on drugs and stuff," and so I don't know what Josh is telling them that we're doing, but yeah, then today we were like, so I thought it was a funny plot point for the video to be like, okay, well, if we serve him, we go to jail, you know? So obviously we can't go through the civil way, because they keep saying, do it civilly. Obviously, going civilly, suing him is not working for us. So let's do a GoFundMe. I have a big following. I'm very confident if I do a GoFundMe, we would get him the $200,000 just from the GoFundMe. I'm very confident we would do that. But I have to like do something funny. So we were like, well, we found a house that we saw some people at the house yesterday that were really like, oh my gosh, like they're arresting you just for like serving court papers. Like all the neighbors were like, it seemed like they were on our side, you know. So we talked to the neighbors about it, and they were like, yeah, let's do a GoFundMe here. And like, I give you permission to put the sign up in my house, you know. It's freedom of speech. We're allowed to do that if it's their private property, you know. And so we're like, we'll just do like a little video where we're like, hey, like donate to this, and we have that sign hung up, you know. And then we're like, we're just gonna make like a short little video just for the GoFundMe, and then my friend gets arrested, and he's not even like, I just met him for this video. He showed up to this one, so I had a fake tier on my Patreon where it was like, if you pay me $3,000, it was like, it's a joke tier. A lot of things I do are satire.
Oh.
I guess you haven't found out by now, but
No, what the fuck is this dude doing?
A lot of big YouTubers that I think are terrible people, they always have like tiers where it's like, if you give me $1,000, you can collab with me, which I think is so stupid. Why would you have someone pay to work for you?
He's just kind of rambling a little bit, but I'm kind of chill. It's like ASMR on my best run ever.
I think the guy who got arrested was like, so it's like, I'll pay that, you know, he's like, if I pay this, are you really going to do a video with me? I was like, no, it's a joke. Like, don't pay me, I'll just do a video with you, like, okay, like, you don't have to pay anything. So I flew him out, so that's how I met him, actually. So that, and then what they said is he was being kind of a dick, I guess, today. That's why he got arrested, so I don't know if that's true. I don't really know that probably, I guess. All these people are random people that we're not interviewing you guys and Slaughter. Those are just random people. I just met all of them as like a couple days ago. So I'm really mad. If anyone should get in trouble, it should be me.
So today's event was that kind of your ideas to do this video with the GoFundMe and all that, or how did that all?
So I wanted to video the GoFundMe because the whole thing is like, okay, if we do a video of.
No way,
this thing.
bazooka.
I just know how the internet works. It's gonna raise the money for this family.
Right.
And before we could even shoot the video, the police just came and shut it down and arrested it. Like, I don't know if he deserved to be, or maybe he was talking back. I don't know.
I'm not sure either. I wasn't there.
I wasn't there either. Yeah, because I was afraid that if I go back, then so I just stayed back out of it. I wasn't.
But the plan with everyone was to create this
Oh
video.
my god,
It was
no
just to create a
fucking
video, yes, for the
way,
GoFundMe.
man.
GoFundMe.
I just did all this fucking work for nothing.
Because if I just say like, hey, this man stole his Legos, donate, no one's gonna care. You know, like you gotta do something like kind of funny. You know? But the purpose wasn't to intimidate Josh. It was like those neighbors seemed like they were like on our side. You know, it was like, oh, like if we do it in the neighbor's house, like, it'll go viral and.
Okay.
Yeah, but the purpose wasn't to intimidate Josh. It wasn't
Oh my
to,
god, I fucking hate this piece of shit website.
'cause I know
What
that's
website are you
that's
on?
gonna basically
I'm
blow up
applying
the-
for a fucking
like, that sign is
job,
a funny
and this
sign,
shit
you know,
is
like,
so
we can freedom of
ass.
speech say that, you know? And it's true. It's not defamation. I mean, even if it is defamation, he has to go to civil court. But it's not defamation. It is true. Like that is what he did, and I have so much evidence to back it up in my documentary. And give the freedom of speech to for that person to put that up on their property. And I thought we were doing a good thing by getting this family their money back. You know? Like, because the police said, hey, do not serve them court papers, which means basically the police told me, do not take this man to court, or else you'll get arrested. And so I was like, just thinking, and we're like, let's do a GoFundMe, you know? And that was the solution.
Gotcha. So this group, you mentioned that this group you had today, kind of last few days, you just met them.
As of like 3 days ago.
Okay. Who are the people that you met just 3 days ago?
I don't even know half their names. Yeah, if you give me my phone, I could probably tell you. But
Who do you know?
Ivan,
I know
look at the
Shelby,
pace.
But I only know him from T-shirts in Oregon.
I'm not gonna say anything, I just agree.
He showed me like a video from 3 days. I think we only filmed for 3 days, and then I came back on my own to see if the store was closed, and then he was like, I don't know, he was kind of depressed, and I just saw he was like, that was the best like 3 days of my life when I did the Oregon thing. So I was like, okay, come out for it, you know, like. Ready to take it.
You and Sheldon have kind of been talking a little bit longer than the other guys.
Yeah.
How did you get in touch with these other guys that you just met 3 days ago?
I think I put out an Instagram story maybe. I was like,
Okay.
hey, if you're in Utah, I'll take down that guy, hit me up.
Okay. All right. But Sheldon, because he lives
In
back in
Illinois.
Illinois,
Yeah.
and so you guys kind of talk every now and then and said, hey,
Yeah,
come out to
yeah.
Utah and come help me
Yeah.
with this.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of other things. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we call each other on the phone every once in a while.
Okay, but all the other people, just Instagram to say, hey, need help with this, help me.
Yeah.
So the whole, I guess, from my understanding, what you're saying is the whole reason we're here in Utah is to serve Josh Papers.
Yeah. Because we won the court case in Oregon, and now you have to sue the person. That's what we have to do. I don't know.
Okay. Tell me about like this other stuff that's going on. Like, sounds like there was some ducks that were dropped off in a box.
Yeah, so that was,
The rubber ducks.
So basically, I like I said, I do a lot of satire in my stuff. So there was basically Josh has been using these loopholes of legal contracts and stuff, and so I kind of want to do like an art piece, if that makes sense. So it's basically, I did it really in my last video and it went kind of viral, so I was like, oh, I'll just do the same thing with this, where this horror director was basically tricking people into contracts, and then that way he could torture them, and then he passed out his fiction, but it was actually real torture, and he took him down, it was the whole thing, so I was like, oh, the same thing with it. Like, this guy's kind of doing the same thing, like, he's tricking people in contracts, he's doing a bunch of, like, very shady legal loopholes and stuff, so the whole point of this video was like, okay, because from a storytelling perspective, I like to show, don't tell, if that makes sense. So I could tell the audience, or I could tell someone, this is wrong, but if you're a bad guy, obviously you're not going to listen. But what if you could show a bad guy that through like art that what you're doing is wrong, you know. So it was basically just a satire piece where we were like, hey, here's this. Do you want this package? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, sign here then. And so he signs, and then in it, it's like we said in the contract, like you have to do the chicken dance. You have to do like it's just obviously a goofy satire contract.
Gotcha.
So it's just a piece of satire to show in the video. This is why it's why now his own methods happen back to him, but not in a real way, in a satire way.
Gotcha. Okay. And then there was another one like.
We didn't think that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna finish. And we didn't think that it was gonna be anything to intimidate him. It was literally satire for. It's like an art piece to satire for the video, you know.
Okay. Yeah, and then there was like another one the following day with like a church. You're acting like a church member and something like that. Another just.
So well, that he wasn't acting. He actually was a Mormon. And so yeah, we just found a Mormon because we found out that. So one thing for the video too, we found so ironic is that he's super hardcore Mormon, which. I mean, I guess you can believe whatever you want, I guess. But the thing is,
Josh is. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
And Brandon. And so, what I thought was strange about that is.
Ivan,
for me, I would expect
mute it,
atheists
please.
to
Or
see
pause
like,
it,
oh,
or
that's
something.
kinda like-
We're gonna lock in for the last 5 minutes.
No speaking.
I should really have an auto deafen button. Or not auto deafen. I should have a deafen button.
No worries. If anyone comes in, I'm muting them.
Thank you, thank you. You know what? No BS. I'm just gonna kill the guy. No. It's okay. I have so much time to spare.
Backup strat.
No. Ivan, it's over.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. This is the one. They don't call him Yop Me Mama for nothing.
Dude, if I got it second try, then it would be close, but...
That's heartbreaking. So we turned off Reckless Ben, and then the run goes to shit.
Turn Reckless Ben back on.
Okay, that's expected. When they die, nothing happens. The Mormon, if you steal that much money, then go to the outer layer, you go to hell, you know. So it's like, what? He either doesn't believe in Mormonism, or he thinks he's going to hell, I guess. So we just found a Mormon, and we were like, hey, like, this is what Josh did, you know? Like, do you want to, like, save him, you know? Because we thought, like, if he did something bad, like, that would be a good thing to do to him, right? To actually, like, get him to repent for his sins, and that way he could be saved. And so we thought that was a good thing by, like, sending, I guess he ultimately chose to go, but obviously, I guess we kind of knew that if we told someone about it, they'd probably go and tell them about it, but ultimately, we thought it was doing a good thing by saving him from his sins, you know?
Okay. Yep, just trying to get your point of view from all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good to go.
Anything else that you think?
That is every single interaction we've had with him, I think, since we've been in Utah. All of them, I never interacted with him when we were in Oregon, but I did have like 3 phone calls with him. And I already sent those 3 phone calls to his complete place in Oregon, and that's what allowed him to now do criminal charges. Where there's phone calls of him basically admitting to everything that happened.
Gotcha.
But besides that, I think I've just described every single contact I've ever had with Josh, our entire history, I think.
In Utah.
Utah and Oregon, yeah. There's
Okay.
3 phone calls, or there were 3 phone calls we had in Oregon, yeah.
Okay.
There were 4, because then at the very end, yeah, we did have last phone call where he's like, I'm going to give all the stuff back. And I went back, and I turned out he was lying, and then so besides that, that's my entire history with Josh.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Just hang tight here, and then I'll be back with you, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. And need anything? Water?
I don't think so.
Okay. If you do, just knock on the door here, and we're just right out here.
Is there a bathroom? Can I walk in the bathroom, or is that?
Yeah, you can.
I can hold you if you got anything here.
I don't care either way. I can take you over to the bathroom or not.
I got it.
I'm not gonna make you sit here.
I don't have to do like that.
Oh, I'm not gonna make you sit here. Fidget and spin and do whatever. So, yeah, it's just down the hall here. Shit. Bathroom. Okay. Yeah, just trying to understand everything that's going on and whatnot. So.
God is good.
Pause.
God is good.
Oh,
If only if we would have let the Reckless Ben on, dude.
No. Look at that. That's plus a minute. I could have had a 25:05. Oh, man.
Dude, I told you when you said turn off the Reckless Ben.
Turn off Reckless Ben Ivan.
No, that was so fucking good. All right, time to do a back-to-back run.
Yeah. All right, we're going back to back. I'm going
No
to stop this recording. I'm going to put the camera back where it came from. Oh, look. Here, I'll have it record the inside of my PC. All right, there we go.
Oh my god, dude. I was looking at it. I was like, I'm not going to fucking say it.